This is the Commander of the Stars, a third-party figure of Cybertron Optimus. And this figure has some major problems. For example, one of the fingers broke off as I was just about to finish the video. We're gonna take a look at this and compare it to the original figure. Well, not the original because this is a redeco, but I'm gonna call it the original for the sake of the video. The box art on this figure does look pretty cool. I kinda like how it has that G1 aesthetic with the grid lines and gradient red color. The box art tries to sell this as a premium product, but unfortunately, it's not, and we'll get to that. I love this figure, but that's mainly due to nostalgia reasons, and if I'm being honest, this figure has a lot of problems that I need to address. First of all, thank you to the Show Z store for sending me this guy. I've been wanting this figure for a long time, and I kept asking them about it, and they were kind enough to give it to me, which I really do appreciate. Make sure to use code MECHA if you buy something. You know what happens if you don't. So I feel kind of bad saying this figure has a lot of problems, but it's not their fault since they didn't make the figure. Let's start off with the good. This figure looks absolutely amazing in its base mode. The head sculpt looks like it was ripped out straight from the show. He's got a lot of nice silver and yellow paints throughout him. Sculpt work of the arms, the chest, the abdomen area, all the way down to the legs is done really well. There's a lot of simple, nice detail on the figure. You can see it on the shoulders here. You can see the door panels. This is very smooth. Some nice detail underneath here. The way this abdomen section layers up is really nice. I do feel like these skirt pieces on the side look a little bit awkward. Inside the arms, you have some cool detail. Down over, the design on the legs over here is really nice. And then further down the legs, the sculpt work is really good. And you can see some cool designs going on throughout it. Same on this side. The figure is pretty faithful to the original, and a lot of the details are similar as well. He has a lot of die-cast parts to him. You can see it on the arms, the crotch piece, the back side of the crotch piece, the joints on the legs, same with the knee joints, this part over here, as well as these parts of the legs, along with the feet. That gives this figure a nice heft to it, and it makes it very bottom heavy, which is useful for the combined mode so it doesn't fall over.
I have unexpectedly descended from a vertical position to a horizontal one.
And I will get to the combined mode after we get to the transformation of the figure, so make sure to stick around for that. Also, make sure to subscribe. Overall, the rest of the figure looks absolutely gorgeous in the base mode. He is much bigger than the Cybertron release, and side by side, the figures look very similar. Everything from the head, the chest, and the shoulders is pretty much an updated version of its prior counterpart. So the issues on this figure, there's quite a few. I've heard the neck can snap, and there's been a lot of reports of the arm ratchet joints failing on people, and yep, mine just failed right over there on camera. Now it's all loose. Basically, as soon as you move the ratchet joints, they die. Also, the fingers on my copy broke straight out of the box as soon as I transformed the figure. And he does come with replacement finger pieces, which I had to replace, but they were kind of hectic to do because with the way the fingers break, these little ball joints would get stuck in there, and then I'd have to kind of dig them out. And if you look on this side, you can see I damaged the hands when trying to get it out. The figure also took my own finger while I was at it, but I did replace all the fingers minus the thumbs because they seem fine so far. Hopefully they don't break. There's a fix for the ratchet joints, which involves unscrewing the arms. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just going to accept my fate with this. This figure does come with the Matrix of Leadership, which if you open up this chest piece and we take this out, it does look pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's not die-cast or anything. Here it is compared to another Matrix for my oversized knockoff masterpiece Optimus Prime. As you can see, they look very different. Not much to say there. Also, opening up does reveal some nice detail on the inside. And here it is compared to the Matrix on the Cybertron figure. I do think this is the one more accurate to the show. I'm not sure why they decided to go for a more G1 style Matrix for the Commander of the Stars. Honestly, I would have preferred it looking more like the original. So now for articulation, this head can rotate, which once again, I'm afraid to move it all the way around because there have been reports of it snapping. This is a high quality figure, guys. I can look up and down. This is mainly for switching out the mouthpiece, which we'll see in the super mode. This arm with the broken ratchet joint can spin a full 360, so can this one. It's probably gonna break if I move it though. Oh, this one's already dead. These shoulder pieces can move. You get a bicep rotation, a double hinge for the elbow bend. The hand can move. This piece can rotate a little bit, but the rest of the hand cannot rotate, which is kind of disappointing. Each finger is individually articulated, and once again, it was held to replace them. The skirt piece can move out and around. These front skirt pieces can move up individually, which is different from the Cybertron release where it's one piece. He does have waist rotation, but it does get blocked by the skirt pieces, and you have to move this piece down and adjust it so you can get more of a rotation on it, and it is a ratchet joint. Hopefully it doesn't break. These legs can move out. You can move them back and to the side, and you do get a rotation. You get a double hinge for the knees, a foot pivot, and this foot can move as well. Also, make sure to check out my Patreon, link in the description below. It's only $1 a month, and it's a huge support to the channel. Patreon, the acceptable way to beg for money. Here he is next to my KO MP in the Gamer Series Optimus Prime. Now let's compare to the articulation on the Cybertron release. Head can move, arm rotation, arms can move out, rotation over here, elbow bend, hands can close, skirt can move, wheel can move, legs can move forward, back, out to the side, rotation, knee bend. So as you can see, Commander of the Stars has more points of articulation than the Cybertron release, which is really cool. If only pieces didn't break. He does also come with this nice instruction booklet, which points out all the bits of articulation the figure has, and basic transformation stuff. Something that's really cool is that it does come with with his cyber key. This is considered a gift from the retailer, which I guess is how they get around those copyright laws, and it looks gorgeous too. There is a magnet on the other side because the figure does have LEDs, but I don't have any batteries for them, so we're gonna have to skip that. And while I don't have the original cyber key, I do have Vector Prime Cyber Planet key, and what's really cool is that this is compatible with prior figures. I think that's really neat. So if I were to plug this in here, this would pop out. Unfortunately, the Commander of the Stars doesn't have a slot for the cyber key. He also does come with a nice card with stats on the back. The extra fingers come in this bag. Here's the mess it made. This might give you an idea of the hell I had to go through for fixing the fingers. And for example, this is going to be really tiny to see. This is one of the ball joints that got stuck in the socket of the hands, and it was very hard to get out. With how much time it took for this figure to come out, there shouldn't be this many issues with it. Now the transformation on this is pretty much just like the original with some extra steps. First thing we want to do is bring out these arms, just like that. Now we can turn the figure around, bring this flap out so we can move the head down, close that up, bring these arm pieces to the back, and then get them into place properly. Adjust these arms, and this actually probably should have been the first step. Open that flap so we can carefully bring the hands in. Anytime I mess with the fingers, I do get a bit nervous, so that's the best I'm going to do for now. Now adjust the arms into place, rotate this piece around, same with this one, make sure it's tabbed into place, open this, and what we're supposed to do is bring this out, make sure that doesn't fall out, bring this piece down, so that way we can bend it like that, and get this back into place, fix these windows to where they're on the side, take the feet for the super mode and bring them out, make sure to tab them in, bring the feet down, take these pieces, which do feel very light, adjust them so they're facing that way. I do want to point out the sculpt work and detail on this is done really well, and we just attach them on here. Now we can put this on and adjust it into place. This piece tabs into here, so be careful when taking it out. And here is the vehicle mode. The vehicle mode looks really nice, and once again, just like the original, it looks amazing from all sides. The weapons up at the top are sculpted really well. The die-cast parts do stick out, but they look nice. The rubber tires are also a nice addition. Here's a quick size comparison to the original release. As you can see, it's longer. He does have a flight mode, which is very basic and simple to do. You just fold the blaster pieces over the wings and just place it back on the figure. And for some reason, I can't get the cannons to be parallel with each other. They're just kind of sticking out, making a V shape. This is also where I noticed something wrong about the figure. These pieces should be on like this with the figure, making it more accurate to the original toy. And if I try to do it like that on this figure, I'm not able to get this back piece on. Isn't that just sick? And what makes it even more weird is that for the artillery mode, it is supposed to go on essentially what is the proper way. And as you can see, there's a big gap there, which is why it doesn't work in the vehicle mode. And here's a better look at that artillery mode. Also keep in mind, when transforming the figure back into robot mode, you need to bring this down. So when you bring it back up, it brings the abdomen piece out. Now for the super mode. It is once again pretty much similar to the original. First you gotta bring out the feet on the back of the legs, kind of shift it up and bring it down and under, and then snap it into place. Same with the other side. Now we can bring the head up so we can rotate it around the other way, bring it back down, and then bring out these side pieces. Now we can take these pieces to connect to the back of the legs on both sides. I just realized it's upside down and that I'm an idiot. Connect it on the right way and make sure it snaps into place. After that, we can take this wing piece and then rotate it the other way. Same with the other side. The wheels need to face up, and now we can bring out these black pieces, bring out these bits from underneath that, take the figure again, and then pull out the arms. And now this part is really awkward and kind of scary to do. So this piece plugs into the back, but now we need to take these front shoulder pieces and then lift them up as we push in the arms. It's very awkward to do, and I'm really afraid of breaking the figure. On top of that, I'm not able to get it in all the way, so I just kind of leave it there because I don't want to break this any further. I just feel like that's a terrible design. Now here's the final super mode, and it does look really cool. He looks great alongside my Cybertron figures. Next to the original figure, he is much larger. Here he is next to my oversized Masterpiece knockoff and the Gamer Series Optimus Prime. The blaster can come out, and it does look pretty nice. It also has an LED in it, but I have no batteries. I also refuse to put it in his hands out of fear of breaking the hands. These side cannons can also come out. This can open up as well and does have LEDs. For extra articulation, these cannons can move. These on the wings are on 3 different hinge joints, so you can get a pretty good range of motion on it. The wings can move as well. And the super mode feet do have a pivot, which is really cool. And all these die-cast parts really do help the figure stand because as you can see, it is pretty back heavy. I do wish the figure had these hinge joints, which would make it much easier to apply the backpack onto the figure. Quick interjection, the pinky broke off. I'm not sure if this was one of the ones I replaced. I did kind of get the old fingers mixed up with the replacement fingers. The original fingers were so fragile you could break them with a feather basically. So he looks great in the super mode. It's just unfortunate he has so many issues to him. Like he towers other figures on my shelf, he has an impressive wingspan. Considering how long this figure was in development, it's a shame that all these issues didn't get fixed. I really don't want to pose this figure too much because I'm afraid of breaking it. I have had figures break on me in the past, and you can see that with my Millennium Falcon Star Wars video or in my most recent video here.